video today that we have not seen, and it's about Shri Krishna's 3 major lessons from the Gita and the Mahabharat. And we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we know it's going to be infused with Krishna's wisdom and Swami Mukundananda's wisdom, and that is enough. We're very excited to watch it with you and to see and comment on what we observe. My love, any thoughts, questions, ideas you want to share?
Thanks for being with us, everyone. Let's get started.
Okay.
When Draupadi was in danger because the Pandavas lost in dice and Yudhishthir had put Draupadi at stake after losing everything. So now Duryodhan, he asked Dushasan to call Draupadi. And Draupadi was pulled there into the assembly. However, at that time, she was being pulled, but she was fearless. My 5 husbands are here, what can he do to me? Now Dushasan said, all right, careful now. Draupadi looked at him, said, Gadadhari Bhim is going to come and break his head. And Bhimsen lowered his own head. And Draupadi looked at Arjun, Gandhivdhari Arjun will come and smash his teeth. Arjun also lowered his head. One by one, they all lowered their heads because they had lost in dice. Draupadi's faith got removed from them. They are no good. She started looking at the Dharma Acharyas there. There was Bhishma, Vidur, Kripacharya, Dronacharya. They will help me. There also she became disappointed. He said, no good. And she took her own support. I can do something. She is considered one of the Panch Kanyas, one of the 5 maidens. Although she had 5 husbands, and yet she is considered a maiden. Internally, she was a maiden. So she had tremendous power. She caught the cheer in her mouth. But to a little extent, she started remembering Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna at that time was in Dwarka. He was having his meal with Rukmini, sitting face to face. He had one morsel in his mouth, the other morsel in his hand when Draupadi started remembering. Now Shri Krishna froze in that position. The morsel in the mouth did not go in. The morsel in the hand did not go to the mouth, and he is looking in front. Rukmini said, Maharaj, what kind of Leela is this? What do you mean? You are Leeladhari, but what Leela is this? Is there some stone in the food? No, Rukmini, this is a serious matter. There is a terrible calamity that has fallen on Draupadi. So Maharaj, please go and save her. How? My rule is Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. You have to surrender to me alone. Right now she is surrendered to herself. I will do something. What could Draupadi do? Dushasan had the strength of elephants. And if Draupadi had matching strength, the cloth did not have that much of strength. It would have torn. So when Dushasan pulled and the cheer jerked, Draupadi realized, I have no support except for the Lord. So the Dev Bal Ashray, Pad Bal Ashray, Swajan Bal Ashray, Swa Bal Ashray, Dhan Bal Ashray, all disappeared. And she lifted her hands, Govinda Dwarika Vasan. Now the Ambara avatar took place. Now the cloth is increasing and increasing and increasing. Dushasan is wondering, he's pulling and pulling and pulling, sweating. He's wondering that what is going on. But he was not able to humiliate Draupadi. He fell there, tired and unconscious. So that was the Ananya Bhakti of Draupadi. Later on, Draupadi accosted Shri Krishna privately. And she said, Shri Krishna, you knew I was in trouble. Why did you take so long?
Can't wait. It's like the cliffhanger right now of this amazing, sacred Leela and story about how Krishna functions when we're struggling in life and we want Krishna to help us, but then we also think, I'm going to solve this on my own, and we try to use our own wit and our own skills, and then we get none of the help that we were wanting, and now Krishna's going to reveal why he came in and swept in to save her, but not at the beginning.
Shri Krishna said, Draupadi, you called and I responded. Where is this taking so long? Maharaj, even after my calling, you delayed one moment, which was like an age to me, because the situation was so precarious. If you had delayed one more moment, it would be too late. Why did you delay? Shri Krishna said, Draupadi, the mistake is yours. You know I am God. Yes, Maharaj. You know I am everywhere in this world. Of course you are. You know I am sitting in your heart. Of course, Maharaj. You called wrongly. You said, Govinda Dwarika Vasen, oh Shri Krishna in Dwarika, I'm in trouble out here. I was sitting inside your heart. And you said, Govinda Dwarika Vasen, so then I went running all the way to Dwarka and came back running from there. That created the moment's delay. God says, Ye yathamam prapadyante tastathaiva bhajamyam. As you surrender, I will reciprocate accordingly. If your faith is complete, then God is inside. He will not take even a moment to jump out and do the Yogakshema. But if you think He is in Dwarka, then He has to come all the way from Dwarka. That is why God says that, look, if you want my complete and absolute grace, then you will have to surrender completely and absolutely to me. So this one condition is very important.
So the reason for his delay was that she didn't fully surrender because she wasn't believing and fully surrendered to the truth that Krishna was with her in that moment already in her heart. Is that right? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah. What an amazing thing to think about. When we recognize that we hear this phrase all the time, God is everywhere, He's sitting in our heart, but how many of us really accept that truth fully? Jagadguru Shri Kripalaji Maharaj had a wonderful phrase in one of his amazing videos, and it said that if we really believed this, it would be everything. We would be God realized right in that moment. That if we really believed, we hear it and we intellectually say it, oh yes, God is sitting in our heart. But in this commentary, he said, what if God would move into the room next to you? What good would that do you? It's like, oh, God would be in the house with me. Yes, but He's sitting in your heart. He's been in your heart since forever, and that does you no good. What good would it do if He was living in the next room? Mm-hmm. So I just think this, of course, Swamiji is such a masterful storyteller. I love listening to everything he says, even if he would order from a menu, which I don't think he ever does. But if he would, I love to listen to him do that. Just as they say, reading the phone book, Swamiji would be amazing. So the story is so titillating and masterful storytelling as usual. But this last detail of that he delayed a moment because he had to go back and forth from Dwarak, and then by Draupadi, the Lord telling Draupadi, you didn't really believe I was in your heart. You called me out in my abode. It just is a humbling and somewhat painful reminder to all of us that we all, those of us who are on the path and believe deeply in God and are seeking a guru or have a guru, we learn these things, we hear them repeatedly, but we have to admit we don't actually believe, because if we did, it would change everything.
Beautifully put, my love. And it's kind of a microcosm of the more extreme struggle we all have, right? She, at least Draupadi, truly believed he was there.
Right.
Right? She deeply believed that and was going to help her and save her. But the truth is, when we're struggling, I know when I'm really stressed or really upset about something in life, or life appears to be not going my way on something, and I want it to be different, I want reality to be different. In that point, in that moment, my mind is under the illusion that God is not waiting in that moment to save and support and serve me through this. My mind believes that I'm alone and that it's all going wrong. So it's a more extreme version, I think, of what she's dealing with, which is that small little disconnect. Well, for many of us, it's a much larger disconnect. When we're doing these videos, when we're doing puja, when we're doing kirtan, when we're sitting at Swamiji's feet, it's very easy to remember that Krishna is in our heart, even if it's hard to fully believe down to the core, we kind of are in that mindset. But when we're in the hustle and bustle of life, when things are going difficult, right? When things are hard, that's when it's harder to really remember that truth.
Beautifully said.
This mind is difficult to control. You say, take the mind to God, but my mind goes to everything else. What should I do? It seems it's more difficult to control than the wind. This is Arjun speaking. He is the famous Gandivdhari Arjun, the wielder of the Gandiv bow. Arjun's mind was actually so controlled and focused that in the ashram of Dronacharya, Guruji once took a test. He lined up the 100 Kauravas and the 5 Pandavas, and he said, there on the tree is a bird. Take aim on its eye. Now they all lifted their arrows, placed them on the bows and took aim. Guruji asked, Duryodhan, what are you seeing? Guruji, I am seeing the bird, I am seeing the tree, I am also seeing Bhimsen. Bhimsen, what are you seeing? Guruji, I am seeing the tree, the bird and its eye. Yudhishthir, what are you seeing? Guruji, the bird and its eye. Arjun, what are you seeing? Arjun says, I. That was his razor-sharp focus.
We love this story that Swamiji tells of Arjun's incredible laser-like focus, his drishti on that single point of focus of the eye, while all the others are more vaguely focused. And I have to tell a little funny comment you made once when we were at our favorite Indian restaurant here in Los Angeles. The food is super freshly prepared and it's out behind the counter, and you tell them which items you want. And we went in there once, and my beloved, could tell that I was locked in on one thing. She said, everyone else in the restaurant is seeing all the different things, the paneer, the basmati rice, the naan. You are like Arjun. You just see samosa, samosa, samosa. She was right. I was like Arjun, unfortunately not in a very spiritual way, but just from the power of the tongue. I was locked in on the samosa.
Which we don't eat anymore.
We no longer eat.
So sad.
Very sad.
Because of our sattvic diet, that's actually the best thing that's ever happened to us. But I miss samosas.
I miss samosas too. I miss all those
My
things I named we don't eat
food.
anymore, except maybe the basmati rice.
Oh,
but
right.
That's the only thing we have eaten. And it's so sad. The samosas, so delicious.
My mouth was watering as you were telling that.
Back to Arjun and his incredible focus.
That Arjun is feeling nervous in the Bhagavad Gita. And he's saying, Shri Krishna,
This mind seems more difficult to control than the wind. So, at least we can understand that mind is not just a matchbox, you'll burn it and throw it away. It will require effort. It will not happen automatically. In response to Arjun's question, Shri Krishna answers, Asanshayam mat mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam. Arjun, what you are saying is undoubtedly correct. He did not dismiss Arjun. Hey Arjun, kya bak bak karta hai? He says, Asanshayam, you are right. The mind is durnigraham. It is difficult to control, not impossible. It is difficult. But then so many things are difficult in this world. You people studied all the way to graduation, post-graduation. Was it easy? You worked hard, you endeavored. You raised a family. Is that easy? Raising children? My God, when I see you all struggling with your children, I say, wow, I'm happy to be free of all this. Now take them to Kumon class, and now take them to chess class, and now take them to basketball. And what a struggle to raise children, and you all do it. So you have done so many difficult things in the world.
The humbleness of our Guru Dev. He knows what true difficulty is. He has given up everything. He has the most discipline of any being I've ever seen on the planet. He takes on non-stop challenge with grace and happiness and surrender and trust. He literally works 365 days a year for over 10 hours in his dharmic spiritual work. He doesn't rest. He has non-stop energy, yet he has the sweetness and humbleness to say that we in raising children, something like he's grateful he didn't have to deal with. It's another nugget of his sweetness and love, trying to uplift us, anyone who's a parent, to encourage us. Let's be true though, if he ever did that, it would be nothing compared to the 1,000 other things that he does that are way more challenging and complex, but he's so humble and so uplifting to his devotees. It just touches my heart.
The amount of effort and endeavor you put in the material side, for material gain, if you could put that much in the spiritual side, we would forever be free of the cycle of life and death. It's difficult, so what? I will still endeavor. And how to endeavor? Shri Krishna says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Arjun, with practice and with detachment, you will gain success.
When Karna in the Mahabharat, his chariot wheel got stuck in the ground, Lord Krishna told Arjun, look, here's your chance. Right now his back is towards you. When his chest is towards you, you will not be able to shoot him. So hit him in the back. Karna heard Lord Krishna. He had been born through the ear, so his ears were very powerful. His name is Karna. He said, Shri Krishna, you are God. You have manifested the laws of dharma in the Vedas. And you are teaching Arjun adharma? What kind of God are you? So Karan said, Kshatra dharma mamekshasva. Oh Shri Krishna, what is the dharma of Kshatriyas? Think. See, in the Vedas, even for fighting a war, there are codes of conduct. Do not shoot anybody after sunset in the dark. Do not hit under the belt or in the back. Don't lift your hand on ladies. This is just warfare. So Karan is reminding Shri Krishna about the rules of dharma.
Lord Krishna replied, Karn, you love dharma? Where was your dharma when the right of the Pandavas was being denied to them? What happened to your dharma when Draupadi was being humiliated? If you loved dharma, why are you fighting on behalf of the adharmic Kauravas? Lord Krishna said, O Karna, what dharma did you follow in the past? What I am trying to show is that we may do wrong, but we want others to do right to us.
What do you make of that final thought from Swamiji, my love?
This whole narrative is the Gita's wisdom just knocks you over. And the way that Swamiji helps us to digest it, the richness and profundity is overwhelming. We're all so blessed to have such a guide on this ancient scripture that's steeped every line in such wisdom. And this last piece, it resonates, it's as true for me that Swamiji has said in a different context, like a criminal, there was a burglary, man stole from someone's house and then he went to his own house. And then that night someone stole from his house and then he called the police and said, my things have been burgled. The things that I stole got stolen. And he was calling the police indignant at that, not saying, well, I took them, so I guess someone else has the right to take them. So, and that's just a small example, but I don't think I fully understood the concept directly with the Kauravas and the Pandavas and why. Maybe if someone's watching and you have more knowledge than me, I didn't understand directly the reference that was made there. That felt confusing to me, but I understand the larger point about, this notion of justice and morality and the way the mind works. And I know that living our Dharma is of the highest import. So all of those concepts really touch me and resonate with me. And I just feel so humbled and blessed and grateful to be on the receiving end of this knowledge.
Beautifully put. And I felt the same way, I think, because, again, we weren't exposed to a lot of this stuff early. So if anyone wants to help us better understand that verse of the Gita and what Swamiji and, of course, Krishna are discussing, if you want to elaborate or give any additional explanations, we love learning from you all. You've provided such amazing comments and explanations on things that don't make sense to us. So if you want to add a little explanation or elaboration, clarity for us on this, we would greatly appreciate it.
And I'll just add here, our copy of Swamiji's Bhagavad Gita is sitting out of reach for me, but he's written the most incredible commentary. I've been going through it page by page, and it's absolutely miraculous. And if we want, yay, thanks, Jared. So
we have 8 of these copies everywhere, all over the house.
So if you have not ordered your copy, I highly recommend you to go on Amazon and receive it. It's a life-changing work. The Gita itself, obviously, but Swamiji's commentary on it is otherworldly, magnificent, and would just highly recommend. It makes a beautiful gift.
Oh, yes, a beautiful gift.
For during these holidays.
He provides an interpretation of every single verse. He has the Sanskrit, then he has the English interpretation, or Hindi if you get it in Hindi, and then he has an explanation with a short nugget of wisdom that goes to the essence of each verse. And he does that, it's a bit thick, because he's literally interpreted and given meaning to and depth to every single verse in the whole Gita. It's like the most powerful way to absorb and truly start to understand the applicability of the Gita to our lives. Great shout out. And then last week, his new book, he's writing a new book it feels like every 6 months a new book comes out. He's such a prolific writer because God and his guru are just moving through him at all times in his new book.
I've just started it. Golden Rules for Living Your Best Life. It's Amazing. Next video, I'll do a proper
Yes.
shout out, but that one is really one you should get. We wish you all well. Please do click like, subscribe, keep coming back to us. We really appreciate your support for our little channel. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Guru Kripa Kevalam.